Welcome to the Lummy Sports Show. Minus Brian for a little bit, but the Filthy is here. Anyone want to call, talk sports? 813-90-BUBBA. 813-90 Bubba. Brett,
Lummy,
how are you doing today?
good, bud. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing great. Found out the Filthy's a little late. He's got a big
The
boy
Filthy's
job.
a little late.
I mean, whatever his name is, Babyface. So I'm a little cloudy headed.
Yeah, that ginger-headed fuck.
Babyface is doing his real lawyer stuff. He sent me a text about 8 minutes ago, said he was going to be a little late. So looks like we can go on. There's been a lot of sports that we can talk about. I mean, the biggest headlines, I don't even know Brian, but actually Brian would seem more, but then he'll get into a long drawn conversation with it. So USA beat Iran. Iran.
Fuck yeah, soccer!
Iran.
Do
You
you see Charles Barkley basically calling out every other soccer team left?
Oh, really?
He said, we want Paris, we want Germany, we
What
want
is
all
he,
these countries.
What's his name in the vice presidential race? What the hell's his name? Do you know what I'm talking about? Or are you too young for that?
Nope.
We're going to go to Montana, and we're going to go to Louisiana, and we're going to go to Mississippi.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I just don't know the name.
Oh. He was the Democratic, he was the head of the Democratic Party. But whatever. USA wins. Did you watch any of the game?
No, I watched a couple minutes. I watched Denmark, France, maybe Saturday, but I haven't watched much else. I've watched maybe a combined 5 minutes of soccer in my entire life.
I turned it on yesterday. She was working. I was watching Walker. Started at 2. Put Walker down. He started watching a little bit of it. I figured that would put him down for a nap, which it did. Oh, yes, and thank you. Hello, ladies. Heather Wiz in the house. Probably Trickney Ashley. Country girl, Ashley Garrison. I watched it a little bit. I saw the first goal. I was happy about that. And then I felt like, there probably won't be any more scoring.
And
I took a nap. I took a nap, and I woke up, and they were celebrating, and USA won.
Glad to hear it.
I guess I got an extra 9 minutes.
Would you give that nap back to watch the rest of that game, or are you pretty content with your decision to go ahead and skip the rest of that offensive explosion?
I loved that nap. I loved that I got to watch the one goal because Ashley really likes soccer, so we put it on. And how I kind of describe it is, and I know there's a lot of soccer fans out there that say, well, you guys are just dumb and buffoons. You don't see the natural grace and the artistic play calling that they're doing and setting everything up, and you guys just like smash mouth and yada yada yada.
No, you're right. You're right. I don't see all that stuff.
I
don't watch soccer, but the reason I don't, I'm sure that a sport like that with fans as passionate as they get, it's a hell of a lot more fun if you have a dog in the fight. But I just don't think it's a good spectator sport.
Well, they get pumped up. They must know that F2P1 play is getting called, and they're going to, pass it around 7 times, and they're going to set this one guy up, and blah, 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 blah. But you know what? This is the third game, and I finally got to see a goal. But like I was saying, I was describing it when I think it was USA England.
Mm-hmm.
And she was watching it. I came in, and I'm watching. I'm like, wow, this is really exciting. Well, I came back in. She goes, yeah, but the end is. I'm like, so it's like NASCAR then. It's like NASCAR. The best is at the end.
Is the last 10 minutes of the race.
Okay, well, then I'll just watch it the last 5-10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what?
But that's the thing about soccer is that I don't know if the World Cup rules are different, but I always thought there was no set time limit. I thought the games could just kind of go until they go. Because I know it's usually a 90-minute base, right?
It's 90 minutes, and then they give. So then all the stoppages they add at the end. I know. I think I peeked my eye open during my nap, and there was a 9-minute
stoppage
overage. Yeah,
I did see that.
So there was 9 minutes for them to do it. Other than that, that's it. And then I guess if it has to go to in World Cup, On elimination games, it goes 30 minutes, 2 15-minute halves or something, and then a shootout. I don't know. Listen, whatever. If people like soccer, go for it. I played soccer when I was a kid. Wasn't enjoyable to watch, in my opinion. Maybe the last 5 minutes, or maybe like you said, you got to like be involved in it.
Right.
That's not me. I like football. Del Americana did, or what is it? El Americano did football.
You ever been to a Tampa Rowdies game?
Yes, I have been.
Would you say that's fun?
Yeah, actually went to a couple last year. For some reason, we can't really find anyone else that really wants to go with us. But it is fun. It is. Well, that's the thing is, it's a really nice scene. They got they're playing Al Link Stadium, right on Tampa Bay. In St. Petersburg.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous stadium. Like if you're ranking stadiums based off of their overall aesthetic, I guess it would probably be right there number 1, and then Amalie number 2.
Yeah, I like it. It's opened up, so the stadium kind of opens up to the bay. And yes, Babyface is coming in. We just don't know when. He's very busy in a big time law case. But you know, when the sun, the lawyer stuff, when the sun goes down and there's really no breeze, but when it gets dark, it is like, there's a nice breeze coming off the bay and it really cools down. And it's like, obviously like the stadium, you can kind of walk all around. They put the stands up on the side, but the people there, that they were getting into it.
Yep.
And just watching it, and Walker was there and actually, you know, was kind of getting into it. She understands the Rowdies a little bit better than I do. I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed going. I was sipping on a cocktail. Walker was getting into it, and it was fun. It was fun. I would go back 100%.
Yeah, I definitely think soccer, like, if you don't have that much interest in the game itself, like if you're just going for the atmosphere and you're going to be kind of drinking, checking your phone or whatever, I definitely feel like it's one of those venues made entirely by the crowd. Just because of how passionate people get.
Oh, and the Rowdies fans are very passionate. You've never been? Yeah. Have you been to one?
No, but I've walked around them. Like I've walked by that stadium while one was happening.
Okay, but they have their own little end zone, and I can't remember what they're called. But they got smokes, they got drums,
flares, and all that.
Yeah, like they just go absolutely crazy, and it's fun. They're up there. It's like they just did a pile of cocaine.
It's like a whole frat party up there in the stands.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they have like a standing room, and it's fun. But I mean, other than that, I don't think I could physically make myself watch a soccer game on TV.
Yeah.
Like a Rowdies just playing regular season. No, I just can't see myself doing it. I like baseball, but sometimes baseball gets boring.
I feel you 100%.
It gets long. You just put it on.
Not to pivot. I know we were talking about passionate fans. Speaking of passionate fans, I wanted to get your thoughts on college football, where we are right now following a tremendous weekend over Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. Definitely switching it. 813-90-BUBBA, 813-90-Bubba.
So Georgia's still number 1 team in the country. Michigan.
Now, did you watch that game? I watched it.
I did.
Michigan. I was surprised how they just literally were able to score as quick as they did.
Right. I mean, listen, we were saying it on this show a week ago today, or at least I was saying, I don't know if I can pick against Ohio State this week. It's going to be tough to do so. They look pretty good so far this year. I think even Brian may or may not.
Brian wasn't here.
He wasn't here, but he may or may not have made the same argument and picked Ohio State. I guess we'll have to ask him when he gets here. Mr. Hindsight has time to change his answer.
Yeah, he's going to be 3-0 when he comes in.
Yeah, of course. But, yeah, I mean, that was pretty cool to see Ohio State go down because I'm not the biggest Ohio State fan. But I remember another team or another school that I had talked about creeping in here. And the top 4 is there at number 4, USC. I know championship weekend still is going to determine some things, but I don't know. Pretty interesting top 4 if I do say so myself.
It is. I'm happy TCU made it in. I'm nervous about after this championship week. TCU plays Kansas State. Does USC play?
USC.
Utah. Okay, there they are. They play Utah on Friday. Okay.
Utah 9-3, Kansas State both 9-3. So those are going to be competitive games. Should be, I think. I don't know. TCU Kansas State doesn't strike me as one that'll be close.
I see where they ranked it. that with Ohio State, Alabama, and them ranking Tennessee below Alabama, even though Tennessee did beat Alabama, it looks like they are hoping USC loses, TCU loses, and they can jump right back in Ohio State and Alabama because, in their opinion, that is the perfect Final Four for ratings they could have. Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, and Alabama.
100%. I mean, when you're looking at just a money-making standpoint and these fan bases that are going to show out in fucking droves to these championship games, like Alabama's fan base can travel. Ohio State's fan base can travel. Georgia, Michigan, they can figure it out.
I think Tennessee can travel.
Tennessee could probably travel well. But
they sell out that
when you talk
stadium.
about schools like USC and TCU, I don't know if that presence is going to fill 60-70% of a national championship state.
And I agree with you. USC obviously pulls from obviously the largest populated state.
Yeah, but that doesn't help teams like the fucking Rams.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. No, but that's what I'm saying.
But
no, but USC they showed where the stadium they're in. Was it the
Rose Bowl?
No, the Coliseum.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, they play in the Coliseum.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
UCLA plays in the Rose Bowl. But but that's what I'm saying.
How about UCLA? Their attendance was shit this year. Did you see that beginning of the year before they were really,
Yeah, and USC, like, obviously when Leinart and Reggie Bush, and it was like a big spectacle. But if you look, the national news, ESPN and all those, they weren't praising USC like they were back then. Snoop Dogg, Will Ferrell, all those guys were on the sidelines. Yeah. It was the greatest thing. USC's, the next, greatest thing ever. They're not really doing it, so there's not much fanfare around USC.
Yeah, it's not the hot choice anymore. It's clearly Bama's been that pick for the last 6-7 years at this rate.
Oh, and then I think they're praying that Michigan wins because I feel like they want to get that Big Ten, that Michigan back into it.
Why the hell not?
Yeah, I mean
they were close. They were close last year, right?
I think they got eliminated. Because they lost to Ohio State,
right? But
like right now, I'm just the way they set those rankings up, you can just tell. Yeah, it was Georgia, Alabama 1 and 2, Michigan 3, and Cincinnati 4. Cincinnati lost to Georgia, Michigan, Alabama. Alabama beat Michigan. So
now this doesn't have much to do with national championship contention, but one of the things on the rankings that I took personal offense to on behalf of former Bucks quarterback Sean King. Tulane Green Wave, a 10-2 team with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 3-loss teams ranked above them. What the fuck is going on there? I mean, why can we not at least give them a couple of courtesy spots? I think Tulane could probably get the upper hand against a school like UCLA or
hold on, but see, as I predicted with LSU last week, LSU did not care if they won or lost.
That is true.
Because they already knew they were in the SEC championship. Whether Texas A&M wins, they lose, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect it. They don't care if they're 14th, 15th, 27th. They're going to the SEC championship, so they're going to be the runner-up in that. So they already pretty much they canceled that game out. They weren't going to show anything. They want to come out and beat Georgia and have that upset there. Mm-hmm. Now, I mean, that is kind of a controversy because if you get a 1-loss Georgia that loses to LSU and they're a 3-loss team, does Georgia fall out of the playoffs? Because obviously you're not going to put an LSU in because Alabama and Tennessee would jump those guys immediately, even though technically the SEC champion should be in there. But I don't know how they'll do that. But yeah, with Tulane,
I think if there's a scenario we're sitting here talking about Alabama not being the SEC champion, and they somehow find a way in. I mean, they're not at all. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to say with Tulane, the problem with them is, yes, they beat who is a number 10 Kansas State, and Kansas State is a strong team. But they beat them 17-10 week 3. Their problem is they lost to Southern Miss, who's not ranked. I don't even let's see what Southern Miss's record was. Obviously, they're not 2-2. 6-6. That absolutely killed Tulane, and then them losing to UCF did not help. But they are playing UCF again in the championship game. I think they will jump up. They'll probably play in one of those, Orange Bowls or whatever. But Tulane is a very good football team.
Yeah,
they have a very good offensive line. And it's one of those small schools that would really benefit from the 12-team playoff.
Mm-hmm.
which happens in 2024. And I guess today they gave the Rose Bowl an
The
ultimatum.
2024 end of next season.
Yeah.
So not the 2024 season.
No, 2024 season.
So 2025.
Technically,
that
but it's a 2020. It's going to take them even. Pat McAfee was like a while back. He's like, how is it going to take them 2 years to figure this out? But like the Rose Bowl, the NCAA came out today and gave the Rose Bowl an ultimatum that, hey, by today, I believe it is, you guys need to figure your shit out if you're going to be in this playoff, because I guess they have the contract with the Rose Bowl that they're trying to figure out if they could even host it.
Right.
Which I was trying to see what stadiums would host it. I don't know if Raymond James is up for it. But fuck it, man. Rose Bowl doesn't want to host it. Bring them down here.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to go to some of those games.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I mean, especially, I hate to say they took the Outback Bowl from us because they just kind of changed the name of it. But it doesn't feel like the same game.
It does not whatsoever.
You know what I mean? Like, nobody really gives a shit anymore. Like, it doesn't. I don't even think they changed the qualifications or the pool of
they did.
teams that they do.
No, it's the SEC and the Big Ten.
Okay.
Like they didn't change it, but it's because now with the playoffs, the Orange Bowl, New Year's Day Bowl, they talk more about the Rose Bowl, the Orange Bowl, and the Outback Bowl used to kind of be up there, but realistically, it's kind of just a throwaway game. But there's been some good Outback Bowls from back in the day. Florida being here. Usually it's like Iowa, Florida. Let's see here. But I mean, I think they're saying that now it's the Relia Quest Bowl.
Yeah, like I don't even remember that. It's been the Relia Quest Bowl for like 2 years.
Oh, has it?
Yeah, and I still, like, if you ask me that same question 30 minutes from now, I don't think I'd be able to remember that.
Yeah, what is Relia Quest?
Sounds like an insurance company. If I had to guess maybe Relia Quest.
No, are you sure? Because it says 2022 Outback Bowl.
There's no way.
I think it just got renamed.
They did not play a 2022 Outback Bowl. Did they really? Oh, they did. It was Penn State, Arkansas.
Yeah, 1996 to 2000. Ah! Jesus Christ! Holy fuck!
Were you legitimately scared?
Yeah, I got goosebumps. Holy balls! I thought I heard someone come in. I haven't seen anyone. I thought it was Brian. Shit nuts.
I thought it was Brian too.
I got fucking goosebumps everywhere.
I thought it was Brian. I looked over. I'm like, why is he walking so slow?
Jesus.
Listen, after the show, can you run this by the post office?
Yeah, the airport one?
Yeah, and just drop right in that little box?
Yeah. Jesus.
That's not...
Because I thought it was Brian. I was like, what the fuck?
After you clean up that puddle of piss?
Yeah, no shit. Ah! Oh.
I was trying to grab you.
Oh, well, I thought I felt something to my right, and I'm like, where the fuck is Brian? Because I saw Rhett look to the side, and I'm like, what the fuck is Brian doing? He's not sitting down.
I want to kiss the rat.
Oh, well, thanks, Rhett.
I had to sell it, dude.
Yeah, you fucking sold it.
What was I supposed to do?
Nothing. You did good.
He was told to shut up.
Yeah, you listened to the boss. Holy shit balls. No problem, Bubba. I'll drop that off. Thank you, Bubba.
Hey, Lummy, that chicken sandwich is pretty strong.
Was it good?
Do you like it? Was it made right?
If they were smart, they wouldn't go back to the regular shitty chicken sandwich.
They leave that mozzarella right on there and enough marinara sauce?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
With the cheese on the bottom.
I'll get it up in about an hour.
All right, awesome.
Yeah, check that out tomorrow, 5 o'clock.
You guys, for real, you guys are killing it.
Thank you, Bubba.
Thank you, Bubba.
Thank you.
You guys.
Thank you.
Holy shit, I was scared, Rhett.
Yeah?
Oh, my God. I got to take this call because I still got a rebound. 404. 404.
Hey, Lummy, want to talk about Jackson State.
What's
what
up?
do you think about them not being in the playoffs because they're the SWAC champions and just going straight to a bowl? Would Dion rather be in the playoffs and get a national championship?
Yeah, of course, but I mean, I've wondered about that. Why would they do that? I know they're in the SWAC and they're Division I AA, but I'm still confused on why, even if they won their little bowl game, why wouldn't they qualify for the playoffs? Is there a rule in Division I AA?
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, is there a rule in Division I AA that they don't know? That I obviously don't know about, but why wouldn't they? Because weren't they in it last year? Didn't they go to the playoffs last year?
I don't think so. I think they went straight to a bowl game. That's what confused me.
Let's see here. I pulled up an article, and good point there, too, because I saw that, because Bubba's talking about the playoffs, and I'm like, it doesn't make any sense why they wouldn't be there, because they're going to be in the 2022 Celebration Bowl instead of it. And you know what? You made a good point. Can Jackson State play for a national championship? It said this is a complicated question. The short answer is yes. Jackson State could hypothetically play for a national championship. Every FCS conference can elect to participate in it. Technically speaking, it's only offered, okay, blah, 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 blah. However, a few conferences choose not to participate. Okay, so the conference chose not to. The Ivy League one also doesn't, which doesn't make any sense. They also don't choose to participate in it. So it looks like the conference is the one that doesn't want to do it. Yep.
Yeah, I just figured they want to go for a national championship.
You would think so.
The next 2 years would be their best chance.
Yeah, because it says when it comes to Jackson State, they play in a conference that elects to send its champion to the Celebration Bowl. So for some reason, they have decided as a conference, the SWAC, to go to a conference championship. Now, hold on. If they lose next week, they could technically receive an at-large bid and go to the playoffs.
Have they already set those brackets?
No, because there's a well, it says right here on ESPN College Football that they're set in November 2022, but the article that I'm reading from sports.betmgm, which by the way, I think those are some pretty legit websites because the MGM they do their research. It does say that technically they still could, if they accept the at-large bid, win. Or they could go to the playoffs and then win the national championship. So they'd have to play it at large. Yeah, I mean to be honest, if I was Dion at that point, I'd say I don't want to go to the championship, which would probably piss off this whole conference. But he'd be like, I want to go play against the rest of the Division I AA schools. But I mean, I can see like the Ivy League. The Ivy League doesn't want to probably play against some of the powerhouses in Division I AA, and maybe even the SWAC back then didn't want to play against some of the, powerhouses in Division I AA because it probably would hurt recruiting before Jackson State started getting a lot of recognition. Go in and lose to Elon.
Yeah, I mean you give Dion a couple more years if he stays there. That's a D1 school all day with those recruits.
Yeah, true. Well, I mean, as of right now, there's a lot of rumors out there, and I guess we'll get into that one. But thank you, 404. What's your name?
Doug.
Doug? I appreciate your call and bringing that up. Thanks, man.
Have a good one.
You too. Oh, perfect segue there.
Yeah, so Deion Sanders.
Well, hold on. So let me ask you something before obviously getting in. Now, for what you know, if you were Deion Sanders, hello, Deion. What's up, Prime?
If I'm not SWAC, who is, Lummy?
Oh, where's your impersonation?
I'm not SWAC.
Where's your impersonation?
Who is? I'm not going to be able to do a good prime time.
Come on. Prime time. Or something. Yeah, so there you go. I mean, I guess we're still stuck under Dan Campbell.
Listen to me, Lummy.
Yeah.
If I'm not SWAC, who is?
You know what? There you go. Yes, Deion. You know what's true.
I said
Deion,
if I'm not SWAC, then tell me who is.
Yeah, I can't, Deion. So let me ask you something, Deion. Are you going to be at Jackson State next year? There's a lot of rumors out there right now.
Here's the thing is, I don't know if you heard me properly. I said if I'm not SWAC, then who is?
Did you say SWAC or did you say PAC?
SWAC.
For Pac-12 with Colorado.
If I'm not SWAC, who is?
So you're thinking he stays? Or do you think after this championship game, I believe it's on Sunday, Saturday, whatever day it is, you think he's gone?
No, I think he stays.
You think he stays in Jackson State another year?
I think he stays at least another year.
Waiting for a better school?
Listen, he can say whatever he wants with his PR stuff, and maybe you have sources that I don't, because we had just said on this sports show a week ago that we may or may not believe that it's not going to happen. But I think he stays there another year. I don't try to get caught up in like the PR stuff that they put out, but I've seen a whole lot of him coming out and basically just reiterating how much he loves Jackson State and how much he's committed to stay there.
Yeah, but you don't think him kind of flirting with these other schools, he's just seeing the best deal right now? And
I'm sure he's just seeing the best deal, maybe feeling out of market like any free agent would, but I mean,
Yeah, but you don't think he's getting a little frustrated, releasing all those kind of team or not? Yeah, I guess school meetings that this SVAC had, where he kind of discussed it, and he was getting frustrated at the SVAC. And you don't think that maybe he's like, look, they're not working with me here either. Even the conference isn't working with me.
I mean, if he wins his championship and
The Celebration Bowl,
you can turn around and look at what he's compiled over the last 2 seasons, then I mean, why the hell not, right?
I mean, it's Jackson State versus North Carolina Central. I mean, you win that bowl game and you're done, and now you're not in the bowl. You're not in the playoffs. I mean, there's been a lot of rumors that he might hop ship, make an announcement on Sunday once that game's done. I mean, you really think he would stay? Or you think he would want to fly down to Tampa or even Colorado? Well, hopefully not Colorado, but
I don't think anyone wants to go to Colorado, not this time of year either.
But don't talk to Grouper Lips about that, because he'll get really he'll start sending you statistics on how the Pac-12 is better than AAC. 100% correct.
Well, it had nothing to do with their talent or the competitiveness of their division. I just think it's, the weather's kind of shitty. It's cold and sad.
Are you saying there's not a lot of good
gray.
football players coming out of Colorado?
I mean, with all due respect, not nearly as many that are coming out of the fucking, Hillsborough County Tri-City areas. Like,
You don't think they're going to want to fly up to Colorado? Because if you think about it, if you look at how Florida is now with all the different colleges, FAU, FIU, UCF, UWF.
yeah, are all these Florida kids who aren't going to get a chance to play at UF and FSU, are they going to want to fly to Colorado, or are they just going to want to go to Tampa?
Yeah,
And
you can go to
play
Tampa.
for Deion Sanders.
I mean, come on.
Exactly.
You don't think Deion's thinking about that?
I think if Deion is truly thinking of leaving, and him and USF are able to work things out, because the last that we had heard, as long as it is public knowledge, because it was discussed on the Bubba the Love Sponge show, last thing we had heard was USF kind of cheaped him out, regardless of if that was a power kind of title thing or if it was a money thing.
Now, yeah.
Now there is some other people reporting that a deal is 90% done, but a lot of people have said a deal is 90% done, and then that deal never fucking gets done, and those people end up being wrong and misinformed.
And,
so,
and Deion has come out and said that he has been offered the job from Colorado. He did not take it, obviously, at this point. And I know that, Rhett, you got sources that USF has made one offer to a coach.
the only offer that I have officially heard from USF and seen people report about is to Chadwell.
Who's a hell of a coach.
Yeah,
I started watching, and I put this on I tweeted it. I started watching Coastal Carolina football about 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
His name's Wayne. He's a listener. He's a big-time guy at Coastal Carolina. And I started watching. The team's fun, and the coach is really good. He's been able to recruit into a small Coastal Carolina school in Charleston. They're actually like really. I think they went. I think they lost one game last year at Appalachian State.
And
they lost 2 games this year. And I mean, if you think about it, Coastal Carolina really wasn't on A1's radar before he got there.
No, and he's a young guy too. He's 44, 45 years old, I think. I mean, as a head coach, before he got to Coastal Carolina, it was some smaller schools. I think
they were Division 1 AA, and then they moved up.
Charleston and Greenville and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, you're right. And then I mean, he's got them. You're right.
Yeah, so 2019, 2011, North Greenville. His first year there, 2-8. And then 2010, they go 9-3. 2011, they improve even more, go 11-3, and they took a loss in the Division II quarterfinal. 2012, Delta State, 1 season, 3-7. That didn't last. Then he went to Charleston, 10-3, 8-4, 10-3, 7-4.
So he's got growth, as Brian would say.
2017, Coastal, 3-9, which obviously it wasn't great. Came back in 2019.
Brian would say, if you look at, let's see what 2016 they did at Coastal Carolina, and if you look at their record, okay, that was pretty good. We'll move on from that.
Okay.
They probably had a lot of seniors that graduated.
Yeah.
But they were, hold on.
For whatever reason.
They were still in Division I AA. 2017 is, I believe, their first year of making that jump up. Yeah, they went. Yeah, they went to the Sun Belt. So they moved up to Division I. That was their like transfer year.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know what's going on with 2018. Did they just not play a season in 18? Am I saying? Unless he wasn't the coach.
They played.
Were they in the Sun Belt?
Yes, they were.
He must not have been their head coach because it's not.
It's not coming up on yours. It's coming up on mine.
It's got a gap from 17 to 19. But regardless, what was their record in 18?
It looks like they were 5-7.
Okay, so 19, 5-7. 2020, 11-1. 2021, 11-2. 2022, they are currently sitting at 9-2, first place, tied for first place in the Sun Belt East. And they finished first place in that division in 2020 as well. So, you talk about improvement. He's a guy that can do it and stay consistent.
As a guy at a smaller school he's a head coach. He's been moved up the ranks and different things like that. So I would have no problem I would obviously love to have Dion here. I mean, can you imagine?
He won a Division II national championship with North Greenville in 2010. I forgot to say that, by the way. Yeah,
I mean, look, last week against Jay Madison, they lost their quarterback, who was a stud. They lost last week. They got their ass handed to them. James Madison is a really good school that's moving up to Division I too. But no, I mean, if it's between them two, obviously Dion would be my number one pick. But if it's him, who they have now said, and I believe you told me it during the show, they have officially, right? USF made an announcement.
As far as I know, they had said that they made him an offer. That was a report according to a guy who has more sources than I do, but he's the only guy that I have seen report on it who I kind of trust. Because everyone with a Twitter account has been saying Deion Sanders is going to happen, but I'm not 100% sure.
And I know, like, Roger.
But I also think with Chadwell, and I'll say this and toss it back over to you, I think there is also that factor of he's not going to up and leave in 2-3 years if he turns you into a competitor. You know, you think he would use USF as a destination school after spending the last 5-6 years at Coastal?
I don't know. It's tough. That big money comes out. Like you kind of look at it and you're like, why would, almost like the rumors with Lane Kiffin, like why would you leave Ole Miss to go to Auburn? There's a little bit more money, but you're in the same conference. Right. It's not like you're upgrading to a different conference. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. It's one of those, how much can you upgrade, but then how much money are they talking? Right. And when I'm looking at here in the chat, Roger Dawson says he thinks that he's going to take over Cincinnati. I just don't see Cincinnati.
Everybody says that, like, oh, he played there, but I mean,
he played with the Reds, but I don't think he really even lived there. I think he was flying in and out. It sounded like he was playing with the Reds when he was with the Cowboys. I think he was still living in Dallas, and he was just flying up to Cincinnati. It's not like he was asking for a trade to go to the Bengals, or the Browns or whoever the hell. It was around that area. Obviously, he wants to be on a winner, and the Reds picked him up because he wanted to play baseball. He has got connections, but I just don't see him going. They're going to the Big 12, but I mean, realistically, right now, the Big 12 isn't obviously in the talks with the Power 5, but if you look at it, I mean, TCU loses. There was talk all year, if TCU goes undefeated, are they even going to make the playoffs? Right. So how strong is the Big 12? I mean, it's like when the Big 12, they started bringing all these AAC guys, UCF, Cincinnati, those. Is it really going to make their conference better? Because when the Big East did it, when Miami, who else? Virginia Tech, with Boston College, when they jumped off and went to the ACC, and then the Big East piled on a couple smaller schools.
What year did they fold up the Big East? Like 2016?
No, it was way before that. I mean, the Big East technically is still around.
That's because I'm thinking of USF.
Yeah.
Used to be in the Big East, and then after that, they put him in like the fucking American whatever.
Yeah, the American Athletic Conference.
And then they just recently got back out of that.
Yeah, because all right, so let's think about it. The Big East for a while there was really strong. I mean, they like I said, Miami, Virginia Tech, Miami, Virginia Tech, in Boston College. They jumped to the ACC. And then I believe the Big East brought in who? Louisville? They brought in a couple, or maybe Louisville was picked too. I mean, it's been so long now, but they got picked, and it didn't make the Big East any stronger. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's like these schools are going to the Big 12. Well, the Big 12 is still technically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, how much credit do you really want to give them when 1 minute we're saying this, but, one team can kind of run the table?
Because UCF, Cincinnati, and whoever the hell else is going there. I mean, you think it's going to give the Big 12 more credibility? Well, listen, I would love for USF to have gone to the Big 12 because it is technically a step up. They got better TV contracts. The schools are a little bit better. I mean, obviously TCU is still in that talk because they're undefeated. And I think if even the Tulane was undefeated, even though it was Cincinnati last year, but they beat some bigger schools, I think they just see AAC and go, yeah, they're outside.
Right.
They're outside of it.
Well, I mean, this is obviously one of those problems that you're not going to run into far as often when you have a 12-team playoff, so luckily we won't be talking about this forever. But, yeah, I mean, it's just
2013 is when the Big East
That's the thing
ended.
that fucking sucks about college football is that you got to sit here and weigh out your options and say, oh, well, just because of this pool of talent maybe isn't playing better against this pool of talent, but we're not going to know for sure because these two teams can't play each other. And just figure it out. Like, it is a lot of speculation, which all sports is at the end of the day, but it sucks.
Yeah, and the Big East ended in 2013. So, yeah, Boston College, University of Miami, Virginia Tech left in 04 and 05.
All right, 16 wasn't that far off then.
No, you're right, yeah. But you got to think about it. I remember when USF was in the Big East, it was kind of like, okay, there's not much. I mean, now basketball-wise, it was awesome. DePaul, Georgetown, Marquette, Notre Dame, Providence, St. John, Seton Hall, Villanova. Like, going to basketball games, I mean, the USF sucked, but it was good always to watch the the opposing team.
Right.
Because now I'm looking full members. So at that point, like you're saying, it was like Cincinnati, Connecticut, Louisville, Pittsburgh, Rutgers, South Florida, Syracuse, and West Virginia.
That's nostalgic.
And then obviously West Virginia jumped to the Big 12. Syracuse went to ACC. Pittsburgh, Louisville jumped to ACC. Rutgers went to the Big 10, which doesn't make any sense. But now the UConn Independent. And then obviously USF and Cincinnati went to the American. Which sucks. Yeah. But you know what I mean? The Big East wasn't like some power conference like it was. Miami was in the national championship. Virginia Tech was in the national championship when they were Big East. So it had that, more glory to it.
Right.
But people that says it's a better conference because they're going to the Big 12, I don't see that. If anything, I wish Deion does come here. And unfortunately, I have a bias because I know if he comes here, Bubba hook up. Hopefully,
yeah,
and it would put USF on the map because I went there.
Listen, there was a good point brought up in chat, and maybe we should have asked Bubba while he was, scaring the piss out of you. I mean, him and Bubba are best friends.
Yeah.
Why can he not just get him on the warm line and put an end to this once and for all?
Maybe because he's playing that. He's playing that game.
Yeah, play the game, man.
Once
you
USF,
think
awesome.
Deion likes that part of the game when you can leave everyone in limbo and. Every other day, you hear some harebrained theory about what you're going to do next.
And you kind of like in your back of your mind, you kind of know.
Right.
Like these people are like, oh, I'm 100% know that, Deion doing this or not.
Right.
And realistically, it's kind of cool.
Well.
But he's not going to say shit. Like Gruberlip said. He's going to try, play it all off. And like you said, maybe he doesn't even go.
Well, if you go all gung-ho, then it's just like, oh, this guy's kind of a jobber.
True. And he wants to look like, and I don't blame him, a coach that cares, obviously, where he is, which he probably does, 100%.
Oh, yeah. Well, you remember when Notre Dame found out Brian Kelly was leaving.
And he just said, fuck off.
He just said, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Well, that just happened to Cincinnati. Did you see that?
Yeah. Well, that's what every coach does,
They lost. I mean, they just went, 9-2?
Yeah.
And then I think last fucking week, they found out, because they...
But that's every college coach. I think there's only been a couple coaches that said, hey, I'm going to play out the bowl game, and I'm going to leave.
Yeah, usually most of them going into that game, if that guy's out of there.
I'm out. See you later. I'm going to my new school. Let's get to 704 real quick. Sorry, I got a call. Sorry, 740.
Yeah, late.
740. I know I got you clicked on. This is Brandon. It might be Brandon.
Did he take a lick again?
Did you drop the phone again, Brandon?
Holy shit, that was so funny earlier.
Oh, I think Brandon did drop the phone.
I
Brandon, I think this is him. Yep, it is. Oh, sorry, Brandon.
got himself all rizzed up. Man, I was laughing my ass off because like it was funny the first time, but I went back and I listened to it again. And just like just how perfect that soundbite is from him.
His like fall. Just,
His like,
oh.
and then just dead silence because you can hear him struggle a little bit.
Like he was trying to like get his flipper to grab it real quick.
As awful as the thought of him sitting there struggling to get his phone is, I was fucking dying.
And then he's just sitting there looking at it.
Oh my
and
God, that was so funny.
And he's getting so worked up that he can't even say anything.
Oh shit, I love that.
Last thing on college real quick too. Well, there's a couple more, but yeah, I was going to close out this window, the ReliaQuest Bowl, which used to be the Outback, and we were talking about the different teams that used to come here.
Good old ReliaQuest.
I mean, you can see the attendance dropped. I mean, look at this. From 2000, I mean, shit, before that, 99, 2000, 65,000, 66,000, 65,000. Michigan, Florida, Iowa, Florida, Georgia, Wisconsin, Florida. I mean, those are good games back then.
It was one of the, upper tier bowls.
Yeah, I mean,
like if your team didn't have a championship season, but you're still playing in the fucking Outback Bowl, you can usually hang your hat on it at the end of the year.
Before I get back to Brandon, I believe the largest attendance from now is 2012. Nope, 2011, Florida, Penn State, 60,574.
Year after that
was
was
50.
South Carolina, Michigan. I went to that game.
It was Michigan State, Georgia first, and then it was South Carolina, Michigan, where Clowney blew it up.
Yeah. Ball don't lie.
Brandon, 740?
Hey, Lummy, it's Andy from Pittsburgh.
Oh, wrong guy. Yeah, what's up, Andy from Pittsburgh?
All right. The other one that was in the Big East, we were talking Big East back in the day, was Penn State, and they were on top winning their championships.
Yeah, I was talking about like back in the day. I'm talking about like the most recent times that everyone kind of jumped.
That was the first strike that kind of sort of weakened. First strike that kind of sort of weakened the Big East, and then it was all downhill from there.
True, but at least Miami and Virginia Tech and those guys were still making it, competitive at that point. Virginia Tech was in there in 99. Miami was obviously in there, 2000? I remember it was at ACC. But you know what I mean? Miami was still in there, so it was nice. But yeah, the Penn State one probably was the one that started, beating it down. It's true. I think we lost Andy.
Oh, he dropped his phone again.
Damn, Andy. 641.
That's me.
Hey,
what's
pal.
up? I tell you, I hit the wrong
What's
button
up,
to
man?
answering. What's
Hey,
good?
Did you guys hear the news? The USFL is going to come back.
Yeah, they've been running commercials for like a couple months now.
Yeah, fuck USFL. We're not talking about the USFL anymore.
Oh yeah, they
took
away
the
our
fucking bandits. They took away the Tampa
Bandits.
team.
They took away the only Tampa team we had that didn't fucking play
They
in
didn't
Tampa.
take any other fucking team away, and they took the Tampa team away.
Memphis Showboats, baby.
Why not take someone else's team away?
And then didn't they give a? Or is that the XFL that has like 2 Texas teams?
Yeah, and we had one, and they gave because they didn't want the
Tampa
teams.
Vipers back, so they gave it to Vegas, and they gave us a fucking Orlando franchise.
And then the USFL says, "Go fuck yourself, Tampa."
Because Orlando is a huge sports destination.
Yeah, they kind of fucked you guys.
Yeah,
but I just wanted to say that I fucked myself on that Iowa-Nebraska game. I was pissed off.
No shit, Brandon. I mean, Iowa's just come on.
Yeah, that's such a terrible way to end the year.
Purdue in the Big Ten championship game. What the fuck is that?
That's how shitty the West is.
Well, how long has it been shitty? Because it's been shitty for a while.
The East always has the good teams in it.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, like, when's the last time realistically a Big Ten West team was good?
Michigan State and Wisconsin won the Big Ten championship 1 or 2 years.
Well, when? Recently? I know Michigan State was all right, but did they win it last year?
No, Michigan's going to win it 2 years in a row.
Wait, Michigan was in it didn't they lose to Ohio State?
No, they won last year.
Did they win it? Oh, that's right. They made the playoffs. Fuck. Yeah, my bad.
That's what I knew I wasn't crazy earlier when I said that Michigan was close.
But I thought Michigan lost to Ohio State.
No, they won last year. They won 2 years in a row.
Yes, they won 2 years in a row.
Oh, so it was only 20 years that fucking Ohio State has beaten Michigan, or what the? Or Michigan hasn't won in Ohio?
Last year was the year that they won in Ohio. Or no,
No,
Shit, no, they won
it
at
was
home. They
20
won in
fucking
Michigan.
years. The
Yeah,
last
they won
time
in the Big
Michigan
House.
won, the last time Michigan won in Ohio was when Tom Brady was a fucking quarterback.
So this year was the year.
Okay, so that's why I get confused.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Because they also said the Ohio State coach, who's been there for like 4 years, has never won or has never lost or never played Michigan in Ohio. Like the fucking announcers confused the shit out of me because they're like, he has never played Michigan in Ohio State. I'm like, wait, he's been there for like 3-4 years. Oh, the 1 year for COVID. I'm like, wait, that's what? So I started getting confused. And
that was all fucked up.
yeah, because then it's like, oh, this is his first time going in against Michigan at Ohio, and I'm like, wait, what? I got confused. And then Michigan hasn't won in Ohio in 20 years, and I'm like, 4 years every other year. I don't fucking know, man. It was 12 o'clock. I started drinking. I don't fucking know.
Well, I know we're talking about the Big Ten. You think Matt Rule can get it done in Nebraska? He did it at Baylor before.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it'll be a good spot for him.
As long as Iowa keeps beating Nebraska, but don't even worry about that.
No shit. I think Matt Rule takes Rhett, mark down the tape right now.
The 4-8 Cornhuskers
are going to go next year. I think they're going to go 6-6 next year, and then the year after that they will go 9-2.
All right,
They will be in the Big 12 championship game against probably at that point Ohio State, Michigan.
Wait, they're going to move conferences? Because you just said the Big 12.
Oh, I don't know. Whatever. Wait, what? Oh, whatever. Big 10. All right. Fuck it, Brandon.
A lot of numbers.
And by the way, hold on. Nebraska actually did talk about. They came out. I think it was a month ago. Some people said that Nebraska wants to get out of the Big 10.
And, well,
That has been in the news, and you can Google or Bing it. It has been in the news that Nebraska wants to maybe get out of the conference.
Yeah, you can Google or Bing that, bitch.
Yeah. Well, Brandon can't.
Sure you can.
He's too busy jerking off.
I got voice texting.
Yeah.
Well, Brandon, mark down my scores too. My everything here.
6-6 to 9-2.
6-6 next year, and 9-2 in the championship game of whatever conference they're in.
Yeah, whatever conference they're in at that point, but I think they're still obviously being in the Big Ten. Technically, what is there, 12 schools in the Big Ten? So
next year
12. Actually, there's
14?
14 teams. Jesus Christ. So the Big 14. Yeah. So they're being the Big 14
next year.
Yeah. And you have a threesome you have a six-some by then too. When Nebraska's in the conference champ, here's my prediction. When Nebraska, whatever fucking conference they're in, Brandon will have a 5-some. Okay, that year,
wow.
Whatever that happens, Brandon will be up to a 5-some.
Wow.
Wow. Thank you, buddy. Did you get my text message?
Yep, I already sent it on. Blitz has got it, and it's already in the works, buddy.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you, Brandon. Hey, penis pump it away, kid.
Okay, thank you.
239.
Hey, Lummy. Hey, Rhett.
Hello,
What's
Mike.
up, man?
Hey, nice to hear from you too, Lummy.
I just said hello, Mike. At least I know your name.
Oh, right on. Okay.
Getting
sorry,
angry
I've
already.
been a little down on Bubba Army lately. The other day I called in and they, crapped all over me, and all I was trying to do was help Bubba out. But whatever.
What is this, Hootie? I mean, listen, Hootie got crapped on too, so don't worry about it.
No, jokes are fine. Talk about my daughter's vag score. It's a joke, whatever. But just saying nasty stuff.
I don't remember that part.
But it was in chat. Just guys just being stupid. It's whatever. But my sports question
Check cancer.
Do you ever think they should come up with like a secondary winners category when a guy has a ridiculous amount of fantasy points? Like a Josh Jacobs, 7% picked him this weekend, and he comes out with almost 60 fantasy points. So at that point, if you didn't have him in your lineup, you can come close to a top prize. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, come on. I mean, that's the coaching.
That's the point of fantasy football. Like they shouldn't give you a runner-up prize just because you didn't get the hot pick that week.
No, I'm not asking for like, you know, the fifth quarter, you know, wheel them into the end zone snowflake deal. It's just, you know, you could have had a great lineup, you know, each player 20 points averaging and have 180 points, and it's crap if you didn't have that one player that
what league are you playing?
Only
in?
2% of 500,000 people pick.
So what you want is that you want, you know, if you go out with the boys on Saturday, get a little too fucking tuned up, you forget to change your lineup. You want to almost a red flag to throw in and say, hey, listen, I actually want to put this guy that just got 60 points in because I lost by 58.
No,
so
I think he's more so just saying that like there should be some sort of contingency plan between a guy who had a good lineup and everyone on that lineup was good, as opposed to the guy who only had, you know, one running back active on the roster and maybe two receivers. The rest were on bye weeks. And then that guy wins the game. And, like, I get his point.
Is that the point?
Exactly.
Right, but, like, that defeats the whole purpose of fantasy football, man.
So you're saying that you want to give good players, like, more recognition than the other shitty players that you've picked?
Well, I would say maybe reward the people who came out on top, but don't penalize the people who still did great just because, you know.
Oh, so like it'd be like the Texans. What are they? 1-9-1 or whatever they are right now.
Right.
So you want Dameon Pierce to win the MVP, or maybe a second MVP. So whoever the MVP this year is, it'd be like, well, we want Dameon Pierce to win it because you know what? Even though his team sucked complete balls and lost almost every game they played in, Dameon Pierce has a lot of good games, and you know what? He is the most valuable player for the shitty Texans, and you know what? That deserves him. That deserves him the shittiest MVP or shittiest team MVP. Is that what you're saying?
I get it, Lummy.
No, but I'm saying, is that what you're... I'm trying to figure out... Brett's got it. I'm trying to figure it out. Listen, I'm a little slower. I need to be kind of dumbfounded to that. So is that what you're saying? You want a shitty MVP for teams. Like the worst teams in the league, you want to know who the best player on the shittiest team is.
No, it's not that. It's just, okay, before you pick up your lineup for the week, and you would go, there's no way anybody would pick this guy in their right mind. He hasn't been thrown to in 8 weeks. He hasn't gone for more than 10 points all season.
But he's brought off of the injury list this week, and he's going to be starting and catching four fucking touchdowns.
He's a good player, and 0.07% pick him, and all of a sudden he goes off for 30 points. It's like,
so it's more of the owner of the fantasy team. So it'd be like
he basically he wants fantasy football without the strategy of fantasy football.
No, Brett, I think what it is that he wants to know that he wants to be saying, look, my team sucks dick, but I chose a couple of these guys that did nothing, and I knew they were going to be good this week. I want a trophy. And by the way, Mike, people in chat agree with you. Grouper Lips, Hall of Fame Grouper Lips, who prints all our 3D busts for the Hall of Fame. Thank you, everyone. He literally said, hey, we'll print up a trophy for you. It might look like a toilet, but it will be a toilet trophy Hall of Famer. And it's in chat. You can go back and read.
You look at the next, next winners, top 3 winners and their lineups for like the next 3 weeks of fantasy football. And I guarantee there'll be players on there that before the game started, you would have said there's no reason anybody who has half a brain in sports would pick them.
That's because those guys took a risk and, took a flyer on a guy like that, and it paid off because there is an element of strategy in fantasy football beyond, I think this guy's going to do good this week.
All right.
Dude, hey, listen, I totally get what you're saying, but I think for your sake, you're kind of lucky Brian's not sitting here because he would be ripping you to shreds right now.
Be. See, Mike, once again, you always come negative at, myself and Red and Blitz and everyone. But you know what? We kind of have your back here.
Man.
We always have your back. We always have your back. Listen, there was a Hall of Famer group of us that was going to make you a toilet trophy, and you turned it down. Every week that you had a really good player and your team lost, he was going to make something for you.
Well, I appreciate that. All right. Love you guys.
Thank you, Mike. Have a great
buddy.
one, man. Like Hootie yesterday. Bubba just killed it. And I kind of understand what he's saying, but I mean, it's also one of those things where, listen, like on FanDuel, when you look at your FanDuel or your DraftKings and you're like, I picked that guy. He was cheap and he got like 80 points.
Right.
But my team still lost.
Well, it's like,
and I was in 12th place because the rest of the team I fucking picked sucked.
well, it's like, I know it was a couple of weeks ago, but when Kansas, or I'm sorry, not Kansas City, when Green Bay was playing, fuck, I don't remember who they were playing in Lambeau. They ultimately lost. Shit, I don't remember what game it was, but Christian Watson had like 3 touchdowns.
Oh, yeah, that
half.
was like 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, nobody was starting Christian Watson.
Not at
that
all.
Week. You know what I mean? But that's the fucking that's why it is fantasy football. Like that's the whole point of the game is to kind of let me take a risk on this guy because by default he's going to be Aaron Rodgers' number 1 wide receiver this week. Like I don't think you should be given an extra reward if you didn't think ahead to do something like that. And if you do, just so happen to have a guy that goes off for 50, 60 points, it's not like you should be penalized. Like what he was explaining was, I want to change the rules of the game because I'm not that good at it.
Yeah.
that was my interpretation.
I mean,
and I know Brian probably would have thought the same thing.
I mean, technically at that point, all you're doing is now you're just going to like almost tank your thing if you get some kind of reward. And you're going to
gotta use strategery.
Well, then you're pretty much then just gonna try to pick some guy that you think is gonna have a lot of points, and if he does, you're gonna win something.
Right.
Let's go to 561. 561.
Yes. What's up, Lummy?
What's up? Who's this?
This is Decap.
I fucking knew it. I was about to say it. I think this is Decap. What's up, buddy?
Nothing much. I just wanted to call in and apologize for calling Daniel a piece of crap. Well, I said piece of shit and an asshole.
Who's Daniel?
Daniel Rose.
Redo's manager?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, where is this coming from? Like, did you hear us with Daniel Rose on a couple weeks ago or something?
Yeah,
we haven't talked to him.
We're hot talking here on Fantasy Football Talk.
Yeah.
Well, I talked to someone else, and
oh, that's cool.
I didn't realize, I don't know, I was just upset about something, and I should have never taken it out on him.
Oh, okay, thank you. Do we need to get Danny Rose on the line and have you apologize to him?
I think we should.
I don't know if I know how to do that.
If you want to.
Yeah, if you want to, Lummy. Do you want to, Lummy?
I don't know how to do that. Anyhow,
you can call out while he's right.
Okay, right. I'm sorry. I don't know.
It's okay.
I'll try it. Oh fuck!
Did you hang up on him?
I hit the wrong fucking hold button. I did. I didn't mean to, Decap, and I know you're not listening either. I guarantee that motherfuckers at Disney right now not listening. Damn it! I don't know.
All you wanted to do was make peace with Daniel Rose, and you just fucking crushed it.
I don't know.
You just absolutely shat on his opportunity.
Know. Listen, I don't know if we want to get down that fucking rabbit hole. 732. I didn't mean to do that, though. I really didn't.
What's up, Lummy? How you doing?
How's it going, man? What's up? What's your name? 732. PPO?
Did you hang up on him, too? Jesus.
Fuck no, he's on the line.
Hello? Lummy.
Hey, man, what's up? Did you switch over? Is that why?
Hey, yeah, I switched over.
It's Ohio, Cincinnati.
The previous caller, there's things that he can do. I get his frustration. Like, my fantasy team was 7-0, and obviously the way the waiver wire works, you're at the back end of all of that. But we create a league, and you can do it on CBS Sports. We do it in free agent dollars. Everybody gets a fake $100 of money every year, and then every free agency period. It's not based on your position in the league. So if you're 7-0 and your team, your running back gets hurt, you'll never get his replacement.
Oh yeah. No, we have something similar in my other league. It's a 14-team league.
Yeah.
And Sleeper. It's called Sleeper, not CBS. But yeah, you get like you get a $100 fake money, and that's what you use. That's in my 14-team league to try to lock up your free agents, or you just obviously got to draft well and be on the scoop on picking up the free agents.
Yeah, you could get guys for $1 or $2, but if you lose a guy late in the year, you can still, if you have enough money left over, you could still go get that guy on the waiver wire and not be subject to your position based on your power ranking.
Oh yeah, and then like a lot of my guys in the other 14-team league I'm in, what they've done, like a Jonathan Taylor or Derrick Henry, guys that may be coming off an injury or haven't been really injured. They'll go draft it. They're not drafted. What they'll do is they'll draft a really good team, and then they'll maybe pick up their backup and put them on their bench just in case. And every week by week, maybe they switch them out. You know what I mean? But they may get lucky with having the Colts running back that's behind Jonathan Taylor for fucking 4 weeks when he was out, or the guy from the Falcons, Cordell Patterson. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's all about strategic.
But
I mean, you know what I mean? It's all about the strategic play. I'm thinking ahead on, what? I need to maybe jump ahead and see what tight end's going to be better. Look, the Lions, I never thought they'd trade Hutchinson to Minnesota. You know what I mean?
Well, Hutchinson hasn't done anything in Minnesota.
He had 1 or 2 games. He's got targeted a lot. I think his first game in Minnesota, he was good. Like he had a lot of points. But still having him back. I mean, look, Cameron Brate went out for the Bucks, and his guy stepped up.
The guy everyone should look at right now is the backup tight end for Baltimore, Oliver.
Oh, because Andrews went out earlier.
Well, no, Andrews was in the whole game. He was congratulating him on every catch. They're going, they're going like a 22 set. Lummy, I mean, you know what that means.
Yeah, but I'm saying Andrews was out. I think 2 weeks ago he was out for 2 weeks or something like that. Yeah,
they were both in this past game, and Oliver lit it up. I mean, that's a cheap play, and he's probably available in everyone's fantasy league.
Well, yeah, even in the Cowboys too. The Cowboys tight ends.
Schultz?
Well, Schultz, and then they also the backup, but he got it in there. The last.
Yeah, but Ferguson doesn't get that many balls.
But if Schultz goes down, though, you also got to see the quarterback play too. You got to see the quarterback is going to go to a lot of tight ends, but it still goes with the running backs and the wide receivers. I mean, look at the Ravens. I mean, the Ravens have been down wide receivers left and right.
Well, they don't have any wide receivers.
Well, exactly. So you just got to pick and choose. I mean, listen, McKenzie from Buffalo Bills during Thanksgiving, he was on my bench. He got 19.2 points. Well, the Bills, you know what I mean? Like, it's an up and down. That's why it's called fantasy football. You just got to, but I guess what? I picked him up on the free agent market in week 7. So, listen, Alan, if you're taking Mike's side, we totally get it.
What'd you say?
I said you're understanding where Mike's coming from, right?
Well, I understand where he's coming from, but I also understand that there's different things that he can do to mitigate those circumstances. I think he's trying to blame something else, like Rhett was saying.
Yes, thank you, Alan.
There are things that he could be doing to not blame. It kind of falls on him.
You know what, Alan? I really do appreciate that comment right there, because he could be doing other things, in the league he's in to prepare his team better, and I 1,000% agree with you, Alan.
All right, have a great day, guys.
You too, Alan. Now, see, that's a breath of fresh air right there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
No, because, it's true. Instead of just sitting there going, oh, well, you know what? Alan understands it and says, you know what? I just got to work harder.
So, before we wrap this thing up with our NFL picks, do you want to talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this week sitting at 5-6?
Oh, we're wrapping it up?
Oh, I mean, we got 25 minutes left, I assume.
Because you saw me go to the sports book?
Yeah, I did. I figured
I was actually just using
check out some of the lines. Check out some of the games this weekend.
I use this not even just for my picks. I use this for what's going on and then where the point spread is, if we talk about it.
I just use the lines.
Oh, gotcha.
thelines.com/NFL Week 13 odds 2022.
Oh, okay. Well,
so
way above me there, buddy.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not trying to face you or anything.
No, you're good.
Just letting you know what I use. I figure we communicate.
Yeah. You're the best.
All right, so Tampa Bay, a football team led by Todd Bowles and Tom Brady, sitting with a 5-6 record, are going to be at home Monday night on prime time, taking on a bitter division rival. An emphasis on that word bitter because the Buccaneers got the upper hand in week 2 over Andy Dalton and the New Orleans Saints. I don't think we're going to see the Jameis Bowl rear its ugly head in Tampa Bay this time around.
I kind of wish they did.
Kind of wish they did. I agree because to be honest with you, that's what won them the game last time.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's one of those things where you better believe, even though the Bucs are favored by 4, it's gonna be tough. I mean, I think the Bucs could certainly erase a lot of the shit that they've shown us this year if they could just go ahead and do us a favor and sweep New Orleans. Just kind of make sure they don't get their hands on the division. But if they lose this week,
that's big.
And New Orleans wins, you have the same record as New Orleans. And I think the Panthers and the Falcons are within 1 game. So by no means are the Bucs about to, be handed the NFC South. And if that's going to happen this year, they're going to have to win this week. And this is a big ass game.
This is a must win.
Mm-hmm.
It is a must win this week for the Bucs. Very disappointed about last week. We talked about it on the main show.
You could have gotten away with losing this game if you won last week. You really could have.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Then they'd be 6-6, but it's a split. Records don't really mean the matter. No, they have to win. Like, it's a must win. No matter what they have to do, they have to win this game. And currently it sits, and this is a home game, so Vegas is saying it's even because it's a 3.5. It's 3.5. The Bucs are given 3.5 to the Saints, which they always say in Vegas that 3 points at a home game. So right now Vegas is even saying what they've seen with the Bucs is that the Bucs and the Saints are pretty much even.
I don't know how else you can feel any other type of way at this rate. The Bucs have been a team so far this year. It's just constant disappointment. Like, I know we went on that 2-game stretch coming into the bye week, but like that didn't mean shit when you go out and you look like the way they did against Cleveland.
Yeah, but you have to admit the first half looked it looked promising. The first half against the Browns.
Yeah, first drive of the game. I wanted to get excited.
A little bit more. I mean, the defense played really well.
Yeah, and we can talk about like the run offense as well. Defense, but that's the thing though about the Bucs is that their defense would be talked about so much more, in a much more positive light if they just had an offense that could score some fucking points.
Yeah, it was like
because in their
31
losses,
to 10.
In their losses, they've given up 10, 17. 22.
And it's always that last minute one, so then it's always the defensive plays that, like the Browns, that last fourth quarter comeback, and then people are like, oh, yeah, the Bucs defense isn't really that good. But realistically, they are really good.
They have been really good, and they're playing well enough to win these games for the Bucs offense, but they just can't score points. I mean, the Bucs could have played for field goals against Cleveland, and it would have won them the game, and they couldn't even fucking do that. They couldn't even get over to that side of the field and stay consistent enough to want to go for 3 points.
And we've talked about this off the air, and I know I talked about it with the Yakos, but this does 1,000,000% remind me of before the Tony Dungy era.
It's Tony Dungy ball. I mean, it's just
run, throw,
stupid mistakes on the offensive side of the ball. Like it's a philosophy that everyone sees coming. That's the issue. Like back in the day, when Dungy was coaching the Bucs, there would be some stooge in the stands of another team calling the offensive plays as they would happen.
The last home game I was at, I think I told you about it. The guy behind me was like, all right, HP dive to the left.
Yep.
All right, they're going to do like a counter to the right. Like it was like first 2 plays. Easy calls. Mike Evans, his efficient is not. Mike Evans isn't, he's kind of looks like he's a little lackluster in a couple.
Well, if some jobber in the stands knows what you're calling on offense, who's 4 or 5 bush lights deep into the affair, then you better believe an NFL defensive coordinator who watches film every week is going to fucking know your tell as well. Like whenever Keeft is on the field, all right, we saw 1 play action. He got a touchdown in Cleveland. That was cute. Would love to see more of that at the goal line. But like, where the fuck has that been all year?
Shit.
9 times out of 10, when Keeft is in a package on the field, whether he's lined up as a fullback or he's lined up as a tight end, they're going to run the goddamn ball. And I think another thing hurting this Bucs team this year, and I know I'm kind of rambling at this point, but I got to get it all out. I mean, the coaching malpractice this year cannot be ignored. I was fully supportive of Todd Bowles. I liked it when they made, when Bruce initially stepped down and we found out Todd Bowles was going to be the guy. I had much higher expectations than I do at this point. Obviously, hindsight's always 20/20, but like just his his inability to take any accountability about this football team is what really pisses me off. Like Jeff Saturday up at the podium this week said, "Man, I really wish I would have had those timeouts back.
Yeah.
I wish you know what I mean? Like I should have done something different on that third down. Like we made a mistake." No, but it's fucking nothing at all can be any, there's no transparency with how Todd Bowles talks to the media, and that's not good.
No.
Like, that's not good. It stuff you don't want to hear from your head coach. Let's use some common sense here. The media asked Todd Bowles why he didn't call a timeout with a minute left in that game in Cleveland, because
his answer was absolutely
even
horrible.
though Cleveland, it was 4th down and it was a fucking freak catch to tie the game, the Bucs still had 2 timeouts in their pocket. They still were going to be getting an offensive possession, score or not. They could have burned those timeouts, and they fucking didn't. They let them go all the way down to 0.
Right?
Well, he said, "Oh yeah, it could have been an interception." It could have been an interception by fucking Tom Brady, who has thrown 2 interceptions and 400+ passes.
Yeah, but
season.
I don't think. I think the stat came out that he hasn't thrown an interception in the fourth
quarter in over 10 fucking years.
No, was it 10 years? I thought it was like 2.5 years.
It's been a decade.
Oh, has
it's been a decade
Even
since
worse
Tom
then.
Brady has thrown an interception in the 4th quarter with the game potentially on the line.
Well, then there you go. Poor excuse.
Because that pick 6 against Tennessee in the playoffs was in overtime. You remember that?
Yeah, no, I remember
his final play in New England.
Yes, that was when it was. That was the last one.
His last game losing pick 6, I believe. Actually, you might be. Actually, you know what? Because I saw one in person, so I know I'm wrong. I think it was I think it was the final 2 minutes of a game that they had a 7-point lead on. Because the Bucs had a 7-point lead in the final 2 minutes of that game.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking it was like 2.5 years. Like
he's like 218 and nothing.
Oh yeah, no, it's ridiculous stat. I mean, and at that point, take the time out, take the chance. I mean, you got a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. You really gonna doubt him? No,
yeah. Are you gonna sit here and
Jameson, the quarterback?
Well, especially the same fucking guy. Like, I know that this offense has underperformed this year, but
really,
if Jameis Winston was your quarterback, that's something you could get away with. But when you've got Tom fucking Brady, and the same Tom Brady that not only won a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay his first season here in the offense, not only did all that fucking shit, ended up in the record books in the first 2 seasons because he threw 86 touchdowns his first 2 years in Tampa, 10,000 something yards. You're gonna tell me that guy cannot fucking sling the rock around? Give me a break.
I guarantee you, it's that he fucked up, and that was his only excuse, and he picked a really shitty excuse.
It's just it's not boding very well. It's this awful feeling in the bottom of my stomach that even beyond Brady, Todd Bowles, Byron Leftwich it's just not going to work. It's not going to work out. Todd, listen, there are guys in the NFL that are great coaches, great coordinators, just can't be good head coaches. You know,
I'm thinking if Tom Brady does retire this year, the Bucs got to take a serious look at the coaching positions. And I like Todd Bowles. I like Todd Bowles. I think Brian Leftwich. I think if the Bucs make the playoffs, I think if they at least go far, hopefully, obviously, they win the Super Bowl. But I feel like if they go far, they don't win the Super Bowl. I think a team will hire Byron Leftwich.
Let me ask you this.
And I hope so.
It's going to be tough for Byron because this year he's not pitching very well. And I mean, if recency bias is anything in the NFL, I'm sure it accounts for a lot of those coaching hires.
I don't know, not in Houston though.
Yeah, well,
I mean, look, they got Lovey.
But let me ask you a question. So, Bucs, anything could happen. Still first place in the NFC South as of this sports show. So things could change. But if they make the playoffs, I assume the only way they're going to do that at this point is by winning the NFC South.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
If they make the playoffs and they hang a banner and Tom Brady retires, they're not going to fire Todd Bowles if he just hung an NFC South.
No,
banner.
that's what I'm saying. But I'm hoping Byron takes a coaching job somewhere else. Hopefully Todd Bowles, brings in a really good offensive coordinator, and we go from there. And if obviously the defense or whatever doesn't turn it around, maybe they're looking at a different coach, but.
Now, I don't think we have as much. I don't think we have. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, let me ask you this real quick. If, like you're saying, Tom Brady retires, and I know it's a controversy between Tom Brady and Bruce Arians, but let's just hypothetically say there was beef, because I don't think there was. But you see Bruce Arians now coming back when Tom Brady retires and takes back over the coaching position?
Well, that would be a clear tell.
Oh, no, 100%. But
could you
see that happening?
100%. Could I see that happening? No. Personally, I couldn't. I think a lot of people missed this. It kind of flew under the radar, but Bruce Arians got another diagnosis like a month or two ago, and he's got some more health issues that are popping up. He's been present at the Bucs facility, but I think that diagnosis in particular would be enough to stop him from coming back to be a head coach. That's just my take on it. I could obviously be wrong because health issues have stopped his career before, and he said, fuck that, came back and coached the Bucs.
Exactly.
So, you know, things could change, but I think if BA is ever a head coach again, well, shit, I guess Jason Light's still going to be here. So I don't know.
Jason Light's not getting fired after next year.
I just cannot. No, there's no way Jason Light takes the fall for Todd Bowles being.
Oh, not 100%. Bruce Arians takes a fall on that one.
And here's the thing: is how problematic is it that BA is in the building, probably defending those guys every other week?
Oh yeah, and that's where Jason Light's gonna say, "Hey, this isn't my fault. Now let me go work on bringing in a new coach and see if I can get another quarterback." Mm-hmm. He bought himself another 4 years.
Oh yeah, 100%. You got a trial error period. I mean, shit. You know, Jason Light, normally the life expectancy of a NFL GM doesn't go beyond 2 quarterbacks, I would say. You know, unless you're a team like Indy, unless you're a team like Washington, or, you know, somebody cycling quarterbacks. Like,
well, Indy, I feel like they're.
Well,
the owner's making the decision there.
Yeah, no shit. But Jason Light got an opportunity to draft Jameis Winston. And I feel like 9 times out of 10, if you are a general manager who drafts a franchise quarterback, you're typically limited by that quarterback, are you not?
Yeah, you are.
Like, I feel like once they finally make the decision to go ahead and move on from that franchise guy, the number 1 overall pick, it usually means that not only did he work out, but nothing else around him really worked out, and that's going to fall in the hands of a general manager. And you remember, you know, even early 2019, with Bruce Arians coming on, everybody's excited. They still wanted Light gone.
Oh, no, they did. Except I guarantee Light went in, and when they were ready to get rid of Jameis, he said, let me see if I can pull some lightning out of my ass.
Right.
And him landing Tom Brady.
Yeah,
I don't think him landing any – I think they would have fired him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if they would have landed Teddy Two Gloves and, you know, Bruce Arians goes 7-9, 6-10, I don't think he would have been here.
No, not at all. He is 1,000,000% done.
Yeah, so now he is in an opportunity where, depending on how the Bucs obviously finish this season, could be in a position to draft, you know, a rookie quarterback next season. Now, hold on, let me ask you about this 2024 draft class. There's one name at the top of that list who I cannot remember, but he's going to be like the best quarterback coming out of that class.
See, I don't like that kind of stuff though, because you never know.
I mean, what if you just embrace Todd Bowles for another season with a shitty quarterback or a free agent stepping stone quarterback, and then get a top 15 pick, and then just go ahead and get a quarterback.
Yeah, but who are you thinking?
In 2023 for the stopgap year?
No, 2024. You said draft.
I'd have to fucking look, to be honest with you.
Because I'm looking here. The guy from Ohio State? Oh, that's not it. I don't know. I mean, I think the defense is ready to play. I think they need to shore up their offensive line next year.
I think they just need to land on a good, competent free agent quarterback. And
well, you know who Brian would say?
The same person I would say.
Who?
Gardner Minshew.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm Team Minshew. I don't want fucking Teddy Two Gloves. I don't want any other washed up veteran.
Teddy Two Glove, I think, is pretty much going to be done once he's done with Miami.
Yeah, I think so too. Because he got hurt again this year, right?
Yeah, a couple concussions.
Yeah, fuck that, man. Well, obviously, you know, hope he stays healthy and all that good stuff. But I like Gardner Minshew. There's a couple of other guys. I mean, listen, you look at the Raiders. You know, if they move on from Derek Carr, I am 100% all in on Derek Carr.
I can't see that, though, especially with Adams. Because Adams, I feel like, would just say, go fuck yourselves. I'm done.
Probably. But what choice does he have? Can he demand a trade?
Well, I mean, it worked out for Calvin Johnson and Barry Sanders out of the Lions, so it looks like he'll be retiring then.
Right.
Or demand a trade. And maybe at that point with the Bucs, he'll have enough money, but then you already have Evans and all these other guys that are going to – I mean, Evans is getting a little older.
Well –
but, I mean, the Bucs definitely 100%. Now, we got fucked on offensive line with Jensen getting hurt early on. Wirf is hurt now. what's his name retiring to become a fucking ukulele fucking player and looking super skinny. We got fucked there. Our offensive line is fucked at this point.
Yeah.
And by the way, fat fuck that plays left tackle, who I've been saying for 3 years now is a worthless piece of shit.
He's been exposed this year.
This year?
I mean, listen, yes.
I've said this for 3 years now.
Yes, I know you have, but I'm going to be honest with you. The last couple of years, as long as you could get a serviceable...
No.
Serviceable.
Hold on. I'm gonna have to interrupt you here, man. I'm gonna have to interrupt you. Why wasn't he exposed the last 2 years?
Because he was serviceable.
No.
He was just good enough to not be fucking noticeably bad.
Sorry. Who was his left guard? Who were you missing this year? That was his left guard.
Ali
Marpet. Who was... Now, would
Ryan
you consider...
Jensen.
Who would you... Hold on. Just Ali Marpet. Let's just say Ali Marpet. Would you consider Ali Marpet a very good guard? When we
He was an
lost him...
all-pro.
Okay. Do you know how much that does to a tackle when you have a guard?
I'm
that
sure.
he knows that he can jump out a little farther out and kind of bring him back in because Marpet's going to be there to at least chip him up.
Right. So
but now that he
obviously
has a shitty guard,
yeah,
Donovan
the point
Smith,
you're trying to make is that when you have a guy next to you that makes you better, it's going to cover up how shitty he is, which is why I said he was serviceable.
He wasn't serviceable even back then.
He was serviceable.
No, he wasn't serviceable. He's not serviceable. He is literally not. He is not even serviceable.
He has been fucking bad this year, but I'm telling you right now, 2021 statistically was one of the best years of his career.
Because he had a good offensive line. I'm just telling you. It doesn't make you serviceable that you got to rely on someone else that's even better. It doesn't make you serviceable.
It means he'll show up half the time.
He'll show up to get
which
his
is
paycheck.
better than nothing at all. In my humble opinion, because fucking left tackles don't grow on trees. So with Donovan Smith being serviceable with a good unit around him, I mean, at any point, I'm sure the Bucs could have traded and paid someone an ass load of money. But
you mean that they actually paid Donovan Smith an ass ton of money?
Right.
So they should have released him when I said they should have released him 3 years ago before giving that big ass fucking contract and went out and got a real good offense. You know who they should have got? Remember the guy from he left, what was it, the Ravens and went to the 49ers?
The Eagles. Left the Eagles, went to the 49ers.
Was
talking
it?
about Williams?
Was that who it is?
Mm-hmm. I think you're thinking of Trent Williams.
Yeah, Trent Williams.
Yeah.
Well, the Bucs should have said, "Hey, Donovan Smith, take your bags, your fat ass out of here.
I remember
your
that,
dingleberries and everything else, and get the fuck out. We're gonna get this guy. We're gonna get Trent Williams because you know why? He's been on some pretty shitty offensive lines, and this motherfucker knows how to play. And guess what? He's 34, and he's still fucking playing. 6'5",
he's still one of the
318.
premier left tackles. And what's cool about him in San Francisco, I mean, not so much for the Bucs, but they have figured out how to fucking use him better than any other left tackle. I don't know if you've seen some of the motion they have him fucking run.
He can pull like a fucking guard.
Well, they found a loophole in the rule book where he can pull as a guard and just get a full running start at the snap of the ball. He can be your man in motion. So they'll set up, a single back look. He'll be your man in motion, cut across the field, and then boom, it's a counterplay to the right with Trent fucking Williams running full speed at you as soon as it starts. Like
6'5", 318.
It's just not even fair. Just not even fair.
That's what I'm saying. But for some reason, the Bucs just loved Donovan Smith, who is making an average salary of $15.5 million.
That's a lot.
2 years.
You got 2 years left on that deal?
Contract terms, he re-signed, and yeah, he's got 2022 base salary $15.75 million, 2023 $15.25 million.
He has not been good. Listen, he was ass before Brady got here. I'm telling you, I am not a fan of Donovan Smith. I'm not defending his play from this year, but I will defend his play from 2020 and 2021 when, yes, he did have a much better unit around him, but he was just better. Like he just stepped up his game.
Kind of like Kenyatta Walker.
Sure.
Kenyatta Walker was dog shit.
But once he got a supporting cast.
Yes, but you can't have your
You're
highest paid.
You're not always going to have that.
But you can't. I know, but you can't have your highest paid offensive lineman fucking having
be a
to have
contingency guy.
Yeah,
I get it.
You can't pay the guy that is your weakest link the most money. Paul Gruber was never the weakest link with the Bucs.
Well, that's
his
why
whole
luckily,
team was the fucking worst.
That's why, luckily for us, 2 years from now, Tristan Wirfs will be the highest paid right tackle in the NFL.
And unfortunately, he's been hurt the last 2 years.
Hell, he's still a fucking stud.
Hold on. I'm not. I already said Justin Ware, like fucking, he went down. That was horrible. Like I'm like,
he's only missing like 3 to 4 games too. They said. I thought he was done for the year.
24, 25, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I'm 1,000% behind Wirf. It's just the Bucks need to build their offensive line. They need to look at if Brady retires. They need to look at the characters around it. The Russell Gage 3-year, $21 million contract is not looking good at all.
Yeah, it's not. Well, it's only $5 million guaranteed this year. Okay. Incentives, we're going to bump it up to 10, so I think a lot of people might look at it as a rich contract, but realistically,
they can cut it.
I know he's been hurt, but if you're only losing $5 or $6 million on the deal, then it's not that big of a fuck.
No, but still.
Shaq Mason's going to be here. Tristan Wirfs is going to be here, so that right side of your offensive line.
And hopefully
honestly,
Jensen
Ryan
returns.
Jensen is going to come back from injury because he's still under contract for 2 more years.
Okay, so he signed a 3-year deal?
He signed a 3-year deal.
Okay.
Yep, so he's still here for 2 more years, so you still got Jensen.
But let's hope he doesn't retire,
You still got Shaq Mason for 2 more years, by the way.
But let's hope Jensen doesn't retire.
Jensen's not going to retire. He's not going to retire.
Okay. Well, I mean, you didn't think Alex was going to retire either.
Nobody fucking thought Ali Marpet was going to retire.
Ryan Jensen may say, I got 2 kids
Did you think Ali Marpet was going to retire?
Fuck no, when I heard that news, I go, what the fuck?
That's the indication that you kind of said it as, you thought he was going to retire?
No, that's what I was saying. Like, no one thought he would retire.
Yeah.
I didn't think Ryan Jensen would either leave next year either. I thought he liked Tampa, but he was ready to sign with the fucking Bengals. Or whoever the fuck. Actually, we lost a guy to the Bengals.
Yeah, Alex Kappa. And they have been so ass this year, the Bengals offensive line. Joe Burrow is still the most hit quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, well, luckily we have Tom Brady that knows how to, get away from a hit.
All right, so you want to make some picks?
Oh, there you go. Sorry. Brian. Thank you, Brian, for coming in.
Bucks Brian really put everybody in a shit mood this year.
Yeah, I know. Brian, I had an article I wanted to read for you, Brian. Kind of wanted his take on it just from being a lawyer perspective. They were saying that oh, fuck. Now I don't have the article, but I wanted to see what he thought because they were suing him. The Watson accusers are going to attend the first game. Some women who settled lawsuits with Deshaun Watson to attend game. Like, come on. Like, how does that, like, really you're going to attend a game?
Yeah, that's a little odd to me. I mean, I listen.
I know you're going to try to get into his head or some shit like that, but if it was so bad, why would you want to see him playing football?
That's the thing is, like, I don't have the strongest opinion about it one way or the other because I just don't have all the facts, but it does strike me as a little bit odd that, this person who caused you all of this pain and suffering is the first person you want to see when they go back to work.
And making a lot of money after you settled.
Right.
Or whatever it is that they did.
Let me use some of this settlement money to go buy some football tickets and make this about me.
Exactly. And then let's report it to ESPN. Like right now, right, if you, kind of beat the shit out of me, the last thing I want to do tomorrow is come in here and see you.
Right.
I mean, you beat me up.
Right.
It's kind of like a, tough thing.
Yeah, we went to court.
Yeah.
We went to court over it.
And then I got to come back. And it's not even like,
I have to come back. You're fucking willing.
That's what I'm saying. I don't have to come back. I'm now saying I am going to go show up for Rhett's first day back.
You know what I really hope they don't do?
Oh, they're going to. I know what you're going to say, probably. Put them on TV?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to put them on.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Or they're going to talk about it.
I'm waiting for that Twitter post from fucking Bleacher Report or Sports Center who says, here's the 10 women in matching T-shirts, standing hand in hand in the corridor to block people from getting to their seats. Just some stupid fucking publicity thing. Because then it just I don't have a super strong opinion. I don't have a super strong opinion about it one way or the other. But if you are one of those people who, let's believe the victims, well, it's not a great look on the victims to show up and start showing their ass when everything has been settled,
Exactly. It makes them look bad.
It does. All right, so you want to pick
what
some
do you
games?
Right, what do you got? Because I would say, hey, Brian, what do you got? But
yeah, we're missing our star today.
Once again, 2 weeks out.
I know. I even put him on the thumbnail and everything, man.
Fucking cruise?
He's blowing us off.
Oh,
he's big.
You think he'll be here tomorrow?
Oh, of course, bright and early.
Oh, and don't
he'll
forget.
He'll be here 6:05 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. 6:05 Who are your 3 teams? Are you going to write them down?
Yeah, so I'm picking the dogs this week. Yet again, I like picking the underdogs this week. I'm going to go Lions over the Jags. Jacksonville favored by 1, but I do like Detroit in that game.
I like that pick, Lions.
I also like the Giants over Washington, with Washington being favored 2.5. I think the Giants get back on track this week. I know it's a tough division game, and Washington has been playing well, but that momentum's going to stop at some point. And I think Brian Daboll, I think he's a good enough coach to have these guys in a position to win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What the fuck? I had a third one and I lost it.
Well, we need that. We need that third pick there, kid.
So go ahead and do yours. I'll pull it up here in a second. I had it and then I closed the window and I forgot to write it down.
So I like the Dolphins +4 going back to San Francisco. Obviously, the coach for the Dolphins, it was the offense coordinator for the 49ers. I think they go in there. Even though they are going out west, I don't think it's that big of a deal. The Dolphins have way too many weapons, and they're a 4-point spread. The 49ers are a dangerous team. They got a lot of weapons.
I just don't know if they can. I don't know if they can slow down.
The Dolphins got Wilson Jr., which I believe they did get from the 49ers. I take the Dolphins. I mean, listen, maybe the Dolphins lose, but I don't think they're losing by 4 points. I think, if anything, it comes down to a field goal. I'm taking Dolphins +4. Another game I like, the Falcons, who have been playing really strong, and Mariota's been looking like a superstar. I think they get their act together, and they keep getting their act together. And I think the Steelers winning last week was kind of just a, shit in the pants.
Yeah.
It won't happen again. Even though it's 1 point, it's in Atlanta. I think Atlanta covers that pretty easy. I think they win by 4 or 5 in that game. And then my other one is the Vikings -3.
Let me hear it.
Win against
the
Jets.
So?
Yeah, I don't think Matty White, because if you look at last year, Matt White had a 1 game, fucking come from behind, yada, yada, yada,
and then played like shit.
And then played like complete shit for 2 weeks, and then they put Joe Flacco in, which Joe Flacco is still on the team. I think the Vikings handily beat the Jets. Jets have a great defense. Their offense has looked, pretty good at some points. I do not see them beating the Vikings, who are on full cylinder, running through it. And those are my 3 picks.
My third pick was also the Falcons over the Steelers. I know that they just lost Kyle Pitts. He's having knee surgery.
But he wasn't much of a factor during the year.
I mean, he really wasn't. It's not like they were throwing him the ball. But, yeah, this Falcons team has been hot. I really hate to say it because this probably isn't going to age very well. But, I mean, at this rate, I would put more faith in the fucking Falcons to go on a run in the NFC South than I would the Saints or the Bucs at this moment in time.
I would agree with that, too. The Falcons actually look like they're having fun out there with Mariota.
Mm-hmm.
Rhett, unfortunately, we didn't have our superstar.
That's all right. We did a long show today. We went extra.
Oh, yeah, we went 3 minutes over to make up for that. Brian not being here, for all the big Brian fans who had to go on a cruise last week and now is doing lawyering stuff to make up, missing the sports show. But pretty sure he will be here tomorrow for after the main show, which is twitch.tv/the Bubba Army, 6 a.m. And then right after the morning show at 10 a.m., it will be Your Right, Your Left. We're all fucked with Brent, Hatley, Bubba, obviously, and hopefully Babyface. And don't forget to check out the podcast where I did dive in deep with a couple questions to Bubba that we're going to probably do once a month. Couldn't ask everything I wanted, but check that out. And then Flapping Gaps tomorrow, which will probably released the next week. And don't forget all your Bubba Army merch, BubbaArmyShop.com, BubbaArmyStore.com for all your Bubba Army merch. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Rhett, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, buddy.
We will see you next Wednesday. Hopefully, Babyface can fit us into a schedule. If not, it will be DeFilthy and myself. But we will see you tomorrow morning, twitch.tv/the Bubba Army. Have a good one, everyone.